Behind the Brand features the people who are making things happen. Get insights to grow your business from the experts who've done it. Get Behind the Brand. Sponsored by DocuSign, the global standard for e-signature. Get your free trial at DocuSign.com/Behind the Brand. Hi, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here with founder of Social Triggers, Derek Halpern. Derek, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Suppose that I've got a small to medium-sized business. I'm doing 5 to 20 million in revenue.
Okay.
But I really want to grow the list. Mm-hmm. So I can put an email capture or something more prominently. But what are some other channels that you're using? Are you optimizing in social media? How are you using social to kind of tie it all together?
So this is a very interesting topic, and I'll tell you why. I don't really use social media that much at all. I have a Twitter account. I have it at Derek Halpern. I think I got 28,000 followers. I have a Facebook page, 16,000 likes. But that's not where my traffic comes from.
Yeah.
My traffic comes from creating a piece of content that's very helpful and then reaching out to people that I know can benefit from it and getting them to feature it. And to really walk you through this, about 6 months ago, I had an idea that there's one massage therapist that reached out to me on my email list saying, hey, I run a massage practice. What can I do to get some more leads to my company?
Attention, yeah.
And I was like, massage therapists are reading my site. I only had one at this point, just one. And I was thinking to myself, if she likes it, I bet other massage therapists would like it too. So what did I do? I wrote an article that walked people through. I was like, hey, the other day I walked into a spa and I realized that massage therapists know nothing about email marketing. Here's the deal. And I walked through some email marketing tips. I take that article, reach out to the biggest massage magazine in the world. The editor-in-chief responded to me. I reached out to another massage business community. They shared it. Before you know it, I had 1,000 new leads, almost 1,000, it was a little bit less, that were massage therapists. And I had people saying, hey, Derek, this article is so helpful. If you're ever in North Dakota, I'll never be there, but if I was ever there, free massage.
Come by for some.
Yeah.
From some TLC, good.
So that's an example of how to do that.
So you're custom making the content
Yep.
for that particular niche or industry or genre. That's the message, right?
Yeah, custom make the content for that industry niche and then reach out to people there that want it.
The principles are the same, right?
Yeah, the principles are always the same. It's just create content that people can benefit from and then get it in the hands of the right people. Now at this point, it's what type of content should you create? You want to create content that precedes the sale. Let me explain that a little bit more. Let's say you're a wedding planner. What type of content could you create? You don't want to write something like how to buy an engagement ring because the wedding is too far away. If they're looking to buy an engagement ring now, they might not be married for 3 or 4 more years. However, if you wrote something like how to find the perfect caterer for your wedding, how to find the perfect wedding photographer, things like that, that's a piece of content that precedes the sale.
You're solving the problem.
Exactly, and they're close enough to where they might want to hire you as a wedding planner. See how that works?
Yeah.
So you want to create that type of content. And I guess I can share one more example. Let's say you're a life coach and you help married women, married divorced women recover from their broken marriage. Let's say that's your niche. You want to create a piece of content that helps those people. You could do something like 7 ways to find out if your husband's cheating on you. And if they're already looking for that, they probably already think their husband's cheating on them. You're gonna give them the content knowing that a divorce is happening soon.
Right.
Now this kind of might sound, it's not shady, but some people see something like that and they're like, oh, I feel like that's taking advantage.
Well, you're thinking about the problem and you're serving up a solution. That's basically what it is.
Yes. There's no left or right here. It's
So what I really want to know is, because to me the next logical question is, how do you then find those people? So you say you're doing advertising. Where are you advertising and
Yeah.
how much? You just give us an idea of your media mix, the
Yeah.
budget and all that.
Okay, so I did not start advertising heavily until just recently. The first 2 years, all I did, and we talked about this, I used the drafting technique.
Yeah.
The drafting technique to reach out to people who had a history of covering the things that I wanted to be covered for, and emailing those people.
So give us an idea of where you got featured then to kind of jump start. And maybe it wasn't all at once, maybe it was several little things, but give us an idea of where you drafted.
Okay, so here's one example. I wrote an article called The Content is King, Myth Debunked, and I walked people through how content isn't king. Design is king in the first 5 seconds. And I had research to back it up. So what did I do? How did I draft behind this article? I Googled content is king. And I reached out to people who wrote an article saying content is king. I then looked for web designers who thought design was king, and I had the research to back it up, so they loved it. I reached out to them. Web designers shared it. The content is king people shared it. They didn't agree with me, but they shared it. And then designers and writers were fighting in my comment section. I had a new blog at this point with almost no subscribers, released this article. This article generated, I think to date, I think it's approaching 100,000 unique visitors to that one article.
Wow.
In the first week, it was about 30,000.
So these are journalists you reached out to?
Bloggers, journalists,
Okay.
anyone who had a history of writing about either content is king or design is king.
But are you saying then that it can be anyone, or are you saying that you should try and find those influencers in that category? Because, I mean, they'll really help amplify your message, right?
So it's not just about influencers, and people think reaching out to influencers is a surefire way to make something go viral. It's not true.
Well, I just think about your suggestion to reach out to journalists
Yeah.
who have already got a built-in audience of X circulation, right?
But it's not always about going after the big journalist or the big blogger. It's about going after someone like you can find. Actually, I did this with massage stuff. I reached out to a massage business practices page that had less than 5,000 Facebook likes. Less than 5,000. They sent me over 1,500 visitors. So it's not about big communities or small communities. It's about finding the perfect match.
Yeah. So how do you know that it's perfect? So if you don't have the social proof, or you're looking at, okay, it's the size that matters, or the most whatever. So how do you quantify that? How do you know that they are the best? If you can't just see the social proof, the gazillion Facebook fans or gazillion subscribers, how do you know that they're the best?
The short answer is you can't. You have to go off some gut level instinct. You got to look at their website, take a look at their interaction. Are they getting comments on their site? Do they look like they're prolific? Not prolific as in they write 5 times a day, but prolific as in they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, so there's some cues.
There's some cues that you look for to make sure that even if they're not the biggest blogger, they might be a smaller blogger. Just some cues to know that they're in this for the long haul and they believe in what they're doing. Because the chances are, if they've been doing it for a while and they believe in it, they probably have other people who follow them that believe in it as well.
Gotcha.
And in the beginning, you'll find that you might have some people that'll link you that won't really do much for your business. But you know what? That one person will like you. That one person still has 200 of their own friends that can benefit from what you're doing.
So how are they sharing it? Are they sharing it in their own blogs? Are they just simply passing it on? Are they sharing it on Facebook? What are they doing with it?
Depends. I mean, sometimes it's happening in all channels. Sometimes they're writing a blog post about it. Sometimes they're sending an email link to their friend. As an example, when I did that content is king myth debunked and I gave it to designers, I knew they didn't have an audience to share it to. I knew they had clients that would like this though. And what some of those people said was, Derek, thank you so much for sharing this. I actually just forwarded this link to all my clients just so they could feel comforted knowing that they just got a design and design is king. They could show it to potential prospects.
I get it. They leverage your content for their own social proof.
For their own social proof, for their own sale, exactly. Yep.
Very smart. Talk to us about advertising. So you didn't start until just recently.
Yep.
Where are you having success? Where have you failed? What have you learned?
So the main place I target for advertising right now is Facebook ads. You can get a lot of traffic for almost nothing, and you can get targeted traffic because you can target people by age range or by specific pages they like. When you target those pages, now you're drafting behind other companies. It's like, let's say you have a real big competitor that has 10,000 Facebook likes. You can actually buy an ad next to their page. This is like the big scam right now going on. You can actually buy an ad for Entrepreneur Magazine without paying Entrepreneur Magazine, which is kind of unfortunate for Entrepreneur because I feel like they should get a cut of something like this. But Facebook's got this great thing where we build up our Facebook pages and then people can buy ads and target our page without actually giving us a cut of it. It's kind of weird, but that's what's happening.
So I'm just imagining Pepsi and Coke, that are classic battles, So you're saying that you should pre-select some of these in your advertising. So if I'm Coke, I want to buy against the Pepsi page. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, you could do that, yes. You could do that, or there's actually 3 types of things you can do. You can target ads against your direct competitors. These are people like the Pepsis and Cokes.
So people that like XYZ, you can list that in your ad.
You can target direct competitors, Or you might know something like your ideal customer might use a specific tool. So with me, I know that I could target my direct competitors, which are people like me, maybe Lewis House as an example. I could target the tools that my people use, like the email marketing service providers of the world, or the social media marketing service providers.
Or people who use Evernote or something like that.
Exactly. I can target the tools that they use, and that's another way to do it. They're not competing with me, but I know they use those tools, so I can target that. Or I can target the events or parties that they go to. So it's a way to, like, you can go after those 3 people, and when you just think of those 3 questions, it's going to make it a lot easier. And also, you could do the magazines that they read.
Sure. What mistakes have you made?
Oof. Where do I start?
And let's talk about it from the vantage point of, what have you learned from it, and what could you impart? Because, the people watching this show, they're really trying to put the puzzle together. They want to figure it out.
Yeah.
They want the answers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very passionate about building email lists.
Yeah.
Back in 2007, I wasn't that passionate about building email lists. And it probably cost me a lot of money. Because I was running an entertainment site, a huge entertainment site, and I was not building an email list. I had
Just focus on traffic.
Just focus on traffic and getting that traffic to click on my ads. I had a publicly traded company reach out to me to buy out my network of sites. And they offered me a decent amount. I mean, I was 22 years old at this point, or 23 years old. So they offered me a lot of money. Knowing what I know now about email, I probably could have got 1,000% more higher of an offer. Now, I never took their offer. I just continued doing what I was doing. But if I built an email list with that much traffic, I could have went, from being high 6 figures to something that could have been worth, $8 million or $10 million just because I had the email list as an asset. So that's the first mistake. I'll never make that mistake again. I'll build that email list from day one, even if I have no traffic.
So what do you say to the people that are building social proof, or they're building numbers on platforms that they don't own? So
you're an idiot. if you're focusing on building on a platform that you don't own, you are a moron. Like, if that's your first thing, you're a moron. And I'll tell you why, because they might change their terms and destroy your business.
It's happening. I mean,
it happened just recently.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if you don't have control over it, it's like, as I just said, if let's say you're a magazine, you build up this great big Facebook page, your competitors can target your page and you don't get paid for it.
But Facebook is viable. I mean, we can't ignore it, and perhaps you're using it. You're using Facebook as a way to drive traffic back to your site, as a way to get people to opt in and build your list.
I also do it too, for customer interactions, customer support, but I don't show if you go to my social triggers, you won't see a Facebook like box anywhere. I get you on my email list first. After I get you on my email list, which I own, I get the database. If my email service provider screws me, I'll just download that database and put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
If I have to, I'll send a personal email to every one of those subscribers. You know what I mean? I have the power. I own that list.
So I'm seeing like a little diagram with your website or your home as your home base, and all of these platforms with arrows pointing to it, and none going out.
None. Once you come to my site, you get it on my list.
Okay.
Then after you're on my list, I might invite you to come introduce yourself on my Facebook page to put a face to the name, just for community building. And that's cool.
What are you doing with your videos? Is it kept within social triggers, or is it out on YouTube, or is it parallel path?
Yeah, so all of my videos are hosted on my YouTube channel, but I publish them on my blog post. And when I have a new video that's going to benefit my subscribers, I send them a link to the blog post, not to the YouTube page.
Right, but they could click out of social triggers back onto YouTube, right?
They could.
Yeah, but most don't, right?
Most don't. I mean, they already watched the video. They're kind of in my house at that point, so they're going to stay in my house. They're not going to leave the house. I mean, some do, but mainly they don't.
What kind of, if maybe you can share, pull the kimono open a little bit and share, like what kind of open rates and what kind of click-through rates are you getting? Yeah. And then let's talk about video views too.
Yeah, so first let's talk about email marketing. A lot of people in my industry, they'll get anywhere from like 10 to 15% open rates. 20% is good, 25% is real good.
Yeah.
I'm getting over 40 to 50% open rates.
It's amazing.
Because I have a very big list of people who know I'm not going to just be one of those guys that send them sales pitches all the time.
Yeah, so you have loyal followers.
Very loyal followers, to a point where I have over 100,000 people, but a lot of my friends, like, let me give you an example. If I do a live webinar, and I'll promote this webinar, I could get over 4,000 registrants for that webinar.
Yeah.
4,000 people. I know people that have 500,000 or 700,000 person lists that can't even get 2,000 people on a webinar. So I have a very loyal following. When it comes to clicks, people click too. Why? Because I'm sending them valuable stuff. I've built up a reputation of providing value. They know I'm building a business, of course, but I'm providing them the value.
So it's a Pavlov's dog. You're training them
Exactly.
to have a good response.
Exactly.
So talk to us about video views.
Yeah. So I launched Social Triggers TV in September of 2012. I launched it, and what happened? First video, over 10,000 views. That video now has I think it's over 20,000 views. Usually when I release new videos to Social Triggers, they're gonna get definitely over 5,000 views within the next couple of days.
Okay.
But they go on to have over 10,000 over the next couple of weeks. And sometimes I'll have over 10,000 almost immediately. Depends on what the video is about.
Okay, so you're getting 10% basically click-through rate on your video stuff.
Yeah. Well, not just 10%. I mean, click-through rates from email, I could see clicks from anywhere from 7% to 20%. It just depends on what the email is about. That said, not everyone who clicks through watches the full video, and not every click registers into watching the video. But yeah, a lot of people are watching this stuff. A lot of people are doing what I'm asking them to do because they know it's going to be beneficial to them in the future. I want to put that in perspective for a second.
Yeah, do it.
A few months ago, not a few months, it was actually a few years ago, I was featured on the homepage of a very large website. It's a magazine. I'm not going to name any names here, but I was on the homepage on this magazine. They sent me about 80 hits. I was on the homepage of a huge magazine, and I got 80 people back to my site.
Yeah.
What?
It's common, right?
It's very common, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people out there have a lot of visitors visiting their website, but they got no readers. All that traffic is hitting all these archive pages.
It's aggregate.
Exactly. They're not reading the new articles, they're hitting the archive articles. And this is how some huge people manage to benefit growing huge websites. They just create as much content as possible, knowing that it's not going to give me any traffic right now, but over the next year it might do 10,000 visitors. That's how these people have it. With me, if you link to, if I feature someone on my podcast, like I had Dan Pink recently on my podcast.
Oh yeah, we had Dan Pink on the show too.
Cool, so I had him back on January of 2013. Yeah. And right after the podcast was done, we sold a couple hundred books. Not a couple hundred visitors to him. We sold a couple hundred books.
Yes, there's your ROI.
You know what I mean? So when you get featured on Social Triggers, I could send 1,000 to 2,000 people or 3,000 people your way because people are listening to me. The same reason why they're watching my videos, they're going to click the links I tell them to click on.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So it's about building a loyal following. It's about having the option to talk to those people on a regular basis.
Yes,
that's
the permission as you used earlier. I think Seth Godin coined this idea of permission, but it's the permission to talk to those people.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unlike, I can think of when I was dating before I was married, you just can't plant one on the girl that you've met for the first time. You've got to earn it, you got to earn the right, and then when the feeling is right, then you can give it a shot, but not before.
Exactly. It's all about building that audience of people who want to hear from you. And then you do just that. Let them hear from you.
So let me give you a scenario, and then you can maybe give me an idea of a marketing mix and budget. So suppose I've got a startup, and I need to grow my list. I want to grow fans and followers or whatever, subscribers, from 0 to about 10,000.
Yeah.
Give me an idea of what the marketing mix should be and about how much I should plan on spending.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. For the first 10,000, I wouldn't try paid advertising yet. I would focus on doing that organic stuff we talked about, creating the content that people want and getting that into the hands of more people. And I'll tell you why. If you're starting at 0, you have an idea who your ideal customer is, but you're not certain, and you're not going to know until you start attracting those people. You have to start weeding it out. I would have never have known to target massage therapists unless I already had some people on my list already to know that was the case. So I always tell people, you don't need to start off by buying any advertising. If you're dead set on it though, you can.
Let's say my back is against the wall. I've got a boss who wants return on investment, and the investment is my time and effort.
Okay.
And so I'm pressed for time. Like I've got to show results. So
what would I do for the first 10,000?
Give me an idea of the marketing mix and what I should budget.
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't give you the right mix, and I'll tell you why. Because it's different for every industry. Building a list of 10,000 people in the life insurance world is going to cost exponentially more than building a list of people who want to buy clothing. That said, it's all about testing it. You can get started with as little money as, if you use something like Facebook or Google AdWords, you can set a budget at $1,000 a month and see what happens.
Let's say I have a bakery. How's that?
You have a bakery.
I make cupcakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What would I do to get people to buy more cupcakes?
I want to get people to pay attention. I want to build a list so that I can market to that list and invite them to come in and eat more cupcakes. Because where my bakery is right now, I'm not getting enough foot traffic.
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect answer that doesn't require advertising and is almost as instant. Okay. Let me tell you a story. I have a friend that owns a gym. He's looking for how does he get more people into his gym to sign up? What can he do? I was like, well, what do you sell? He sells physical therapy. He's got physical therapy training. He's got personal training sessions. He's got a monthly gym membership. I was like, do you have any friends? He says, yes, I have friends. I was like, do you have anyone else who serves a similar type of person? People who need physical therapy, have pain. Do you have a friend that maybe is a massage therapist or an acupuncturist? He goes, actually, yeah, I have a friend that's an acupuncturist. I was like, why don't you talk to the acupuncturist and tell them here, let's co-promote a nice little event in the gym where you'll invite your customers, I'll invite my customers, you'll get exposure to my customers, I'll get exposure to your customers. They had like 50 people show up on a Tuesday night to do that. If you're running a bakery, what should you do? Don't worry about spending money right off the bat. You need money now. Go find someone that doesn't compete with you and try to forge that relationship and do a co-promotion together. Get them to share with their people, you share with your people. Now you're gonna be getting the ROI without spending a penny just by using a strategic partnership. So I think that's what matters in the beginning.
Collaboration?
Collaboration, yes. Or just cross-promotion and make sure you're gonna do it with people that you're not fighting with. Like if you're a bakery store, don't cross-promote someone that promotes don't eat baked goods. Like that doesn't help you.
Yeah, you gotta find maybe a popular blogger who has got great recipes for baked goods and whatnot.
Not even necessarily a popular blogger, because if you're a bakery, a local bakery store, you need local traffic. So you can get featured by that popular blogger, but unless you're shipping to every state, that's not going to benefit you that much.
Yeah, you got to find a local.
You're better off finding like a local newspaper, or even better yet, another small business that might benefit. Like, so who buys baked goods? Maybe there's a local maybe there's a local tutoring place that is owned independently, and they have a lot of kids there. So you can just talk to them. Hey, I'll promote your tutoring in my bakery. You promote my baked goods in your tutoring place, and maybe talk about how we have this birthday party cupcake thing. Cross promotion. And that's a great way to get your people exposed to other people. Remember we talked about that, where you want to get other people that have the people that you want back to you. And you could do that by creating those nice relationships.
Okay, so I love the bootstrapping. I love trying to do everything without spending money. But if I'm going to hard press.
Yep, and you want to spend it.
And I want to spend money. Give me an idea of where I should be spending it if I'm that bakery.
Yep.
Because I think the common problem is, I have a great product.
Yep.
I just don't have the audience. Right? And so it's always about trying to find attention and it's trying to build trust.
Yep.
And that goes back to the value of the list, right?
Exactly.
But if I'm at ground zero, I have to build that. And if I don't have a lot of time, if time's working against me, I've got to jumpstart that process. So suppose I have a little bit of budget.
I would only buy one type of advertising. Cost per click. And I would buy cost per click not in big media buys. Don't try to buy advertising on like big newspapers. Don't do that. If you got, let's say, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, go to something like Google AdWords where you can target specific keywords that you want to buy advertising for. Yeah. Go on Facebook and target the specific pages that you know your people would like, and then target the city that they live in because you need your local customers.
Yeah, people who like cupcakes living in X city and...
Exactly. So not even just people who like cupcakes, but people who might like, maybe there's a local gym nearby, like that gym. Or someone who likes another store nearby, they like that, or a restaurant. Do something like that. And you can spend $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. But I would only go for that type of advertising where you're getting to target your advertising to specific people. The other thing you can do is if you have a website, you can start doing retargeting, which is when someone visits your site, they get cookied and you can follow them around. Like I don't know if you ever went to a website and you saw their ads following you around afterwards. That's called retargeting. You can do that too, and that's actually really great for a lot of people.
Let's go back to email for a second and talk about subject lines.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important getting people to open your emails.
Yep.
What's the trick?
It's real funny because internet marketers or email marketers like myself have been talking about this forever. You want to be personal. Be a human in your emails, and you'll find that people will be more likely to open it. So you want to use a subject line that people use all of the time, like that you would use to your friend. If you want an idea for a subject line, go to your sent mail and look at the last 200 emails you sent to friends and look at those subject lines. That's where you start. Don't worry about writing these fancy headlines that people worry about. Look at the types of emails that you're sending to your friends and use that. This got real popular recently when Barack Obama's email marketing team revealed the subject lines that they use and what lines did the best. And they discovered revolutionary insight. Be personable, be a human in your subject lines, and people are more likely to open them.
Yeah.
But we've known this forever.
Do you feel, though, that, that burns itself out, though, pretty quickly? Like, if you're using little words like, hey, I'm following up, or hey, do you want to have lunch next Tuesday, or hey, whatever your subject line is to your buddies, do you feel like, your 100,000 subscribers? You
can't just keep sending out the same thing saying, hey, we need to talk. It's the same thing. You can't use the same subject line over and over again. You have to give them a little information, obviously, but you start with the types of emails that you send to your friends. So it would be like, not, hey, we need to talk, which might have a high open rate. You might be something like, hey, we need to talk about this new tactic.
Yeah. I'm just concerned about, you burning the trust that you built.
Yeah.
When the person who gets the email is like, oh wow, I'm following up, and then you read it, it's like, oh, I just got duped.
But that's the thing. You don't want to trick anyone. Yeah. You want to use a subject line that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I wrote how to become famous, that video, I think it's ranked number 2 if you Google it. When I created that video, I used a subject line. I tested a few things, but you're famous was one of them. Why did I use that? Well, I noticed that every time I saw my friend get featured in a different magazine and he didn't know about it, I sent him an email. Hey man, subject line, you're famous. Here's the link. So I used that. Huge open rate.
Yeah.
Huge open rate.
Yeah.
Now, I can't keep using you're famous. It was just perfect for that because here's you're famous, and if you're not, here's how to become famous. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to think about that.
You gotta get creative.
You gotta get creative. Don't dupe people. If you feel like you're tricking people, it's probably using the wrong subject line.
Yeah. All right, so we've been spending a little time with founder of Social Triggers, Derek Halpern. Derek, where can people go to find out more about Social Triggers?
They can find more about me, take a guess, socialtriggers.com. And if you wanna get the best stuff, revolutionary insight, get on the email list.
All right, thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you.
This Behind the Brand episode was brought to you by DocuSign, the global standard for e-signature. Get your free trial at DocuSign.com/behindthebrand.